Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm King.
Hi, Richard.
And we are here with Diane.
Hi.
And
I'm here. This is Chet.
cheers! Just
Cheers.
celebrating every day's a gift.
Every day is a gift.
Every day's a gift.
That's why they call it the present.
Uh-huh.
Is that why?
That's right.
That's a good one.
Here's a
That's good.
present.
It's so important though, because I feel like nowadays so many people get caught up in like work and stress and so many things, and they forget to have fun every single day. Like it's sad how many friends I have that like think, oh, the only days of the week that they're gonna have fun are Friday and Saturday because it's the week. Those are the weekend days, and those are the days they're programmed to have fun. It's like, no, every single day you should be able to take a few minutes to appreciate your existence. You don't have to go to some crazy fancy place to appreciate life. You just need to, go outside, go on a little walk for 5 minutes. And
Why only 5 minutes though? People have more than.
some people are very busy and have multiple jobs and literally only have 5 minutes to carve out. But my point is that even if you are that busy, like playing devil's advocate, you can still find a way to appreciate your life and take a second and enjoy yourself.
All it takes is a few deep breaths. In through the mouth, all the way down. Let your belly go out. Seriously, all the way down, all the way down,
Oh my goodness.
all the way down to all the way down to your sphincter. You're breathing.
No, he's right. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good for your diaphragm.
Yeah,
A lot of people.
diaphragmatic breathing, and then out through the mouth.
No,
You do this in a very rhythmic fashion, about the same amount of time in as out. And when you do that and just focus on your breath, you breathe into presence.
Live in the now.
And when you're in presence, then you have a total experience of the miracle that happens with every.
What's funny, a lot of people don't even realize how tight their diaphragm was. Like when you just said that,
Yeah.
I did one breath in as deep as I could, and I released my
Most
diaphragm.
people never breathe below here.
And then that muscle gets tight, and you're basically
Yeah.
never taking a true deep breath. You're never fully oxygenated, and you're
Yes.
basically in a constant state of stress.
Not only that, but think of this. Now, this is really cool. When we breathe in air, we think, oh, we're just breathing in oxygen, nitrogen, blah, 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 etc. The truth is, if you think about this, we are breathing in atoms from a distant exploded star. We are breathing in everything, every bit of energy in the universe with each breath comes into our body. Now that is a miracle.
And ironically,
Very true.
Richard just got back from Hawaii, and he was there for
I was there breathing.
No, he was. He was at some self-improvement Hawaii.
Was it a
seminar.
beautiful part of Hawaii?
I don't know
Oh my
what you call
God! In the Big Island of Hawaii, it's on the wet side, the Hilo side,
Oh.
and so this is all a rainforest and jungle. This is 45 minutes from Hilo, and it's off grid.
Hmm.
So this center that this couple owns is so beautiful, and it's all solar powered, and all the water comes from rain collection,
Oh, wow.
and it's incredibly efficient, and it's just so beautiful.
And
there.
very sustainable.
Well, obviously, and so and the food that we have every day, most of it is grown right on property. All the fruits, all the fruit trees that they have,
Hmm.
you're eating fresh fruit right off the tree. Bananas.
And what about the tea?
Oh, the tea is amazing. They make this tea from about 10 different plants that grow on property,
Oh, wow.
and it's wonderful to drink. So
That's one thing I've always wondered about Hawaii. They always talk about how the chickens are an invasive species. Why aren't the people there eating them? Because they're talking about, the chickens are on all the islands now,
yeah,
and they're threatening a lot of the local wildlife because they're eating all the food. But why don't the people eat those chickens?
they do.
Okay, good. I
People
was
eat
gonna
chicken,
say,
yeah.
because
That's a good question.
because there's also a big homeless population there. It's like, why don't they eat the chickens? Because the chickens are literally a pest.
No,
so.
they do it. They're
Okay,
not,
that's good.
They're not. It's not like the cows in India. They're not
Yeah.
sacred. Sacred chickens don't eat. No.
I can call Mitch really quickly that lives there, and we could ask him.
That's okay. Let's just continue the
But
conversation.
I did see some beautiful pheasants on property that look like
Wow.
large chickens with this incredible coloring, and they're walking. And there's amazing wildlife there. Now they also eat the wild pigs, but all these properties off grid have fences around them, so the wild pigs, these little wild pigs, don't get in there because they'll eat all the shrubbery and
All the fruit, probably, and everything.
I was gonna tell a joke, but
Plenty of
maybe
fruit.
right now it's not very funny. But I
Yeah,
know
it's
there's
not
a
funny.
state in the United States where supposedly people are eating. We could send them.
Eating
over there.
what? Pigs?
Never mind. It wasn't.
What are you
I was trying to make a
saying?
joke, but it's
Okay.
not funny.
It's not
Just
funny.
continue then.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So anyway, this place is, it's so beautiful. It's jungle. It's rainforest. It's jungle. And then there was a huge lava flow in that region in 2018. So you walk 2 miles to the coast. It's all lava.
Mm.
Wow.
There's lava pools, and there's a place where they have geothermal energy coming up from the lava. And there's these big pools that you get in, and they're hot and they're
Wow.
really fun. It's just a
So what's the
marvelous
focus
place.
of going there?
The focus is to learn to breathe
And enjoy every minute.
and become present. When you breathe, well, here's the first. It's interesting. These are concepts that have been around for thousands of years, especially in Eastern spiritual traditions. They always said everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
All is
Mhm.
one. As a
Mhm.
result, all is one. Now, science, thousands of years later, is finally catching up. Einstein had an inkling of this. Tesla knew it totally. Quantum physics is the scientific explanation for this, but it's everything is energy.
Mm-hmm.
Matter is illusion. It's energy is flashing in and out at trillions of time per second. And so when you breathe into presence.
So you did this for 5 days,
4
every day,
days.
all day?
No, it wasn't just breathing. There's a whole lot of
Okay. I mean,
no. But this is the basic.
Okay.
If you really want to get in touch with what's going on with you, in terms of childhood trauma, the things that might be holding you back in life, you need to do that from a state of presence. Because when you're in a state of presence, things are clear, and you're able to, acknowledge, learn, and dissolve things back into infinite possibilities when you're in a state of presence. So that's what it's all about.
I love it.
But
Well,
the
this was your
breathing
second
is
time
key.
there, so
Yeah, the breathing is the core principle behind this. Breathing into presence. It's a very simple process. It's interesting when you smile like this.
Mhm.
No, you're not laughing at anything. But if you just smile, just engage the muscles in a smile and keep it that way.
Mhm.
It signals to your brain that everything's okay, even though you're not smiling. Just the physical act of smiling tells your brain that
Now I'm picturing the retreat that is with a bunch of people like,
Smiling.
So
like smiling and breathing.
So no, it really does initiate to the brain. It starts releasing.
well, I already feel better. I'm laughing right now, and I feel
it
better.
releases, psychochemicals that make you feel that everything is okay. Similarly, when you breathe properly into presence, it brings you to a state of presence, which is, and you realize that all is energy, all is one, and everything is perfect. How could it be otherwise?
Mhm.
So it's a very, very powerful place.
What's it called? What is this place called?
The place that is called Kokowasi. It's a wonderful place
Kokowasi.
owned by this couple, Victoria and Gray, and they've owned it for quite a few years, and they've developed it beautifully. Now you can go there. This group is called Brian D. Ridgway is the head of this group, and it's called Level 5 Mentoring. He's been doing this for 14 years.
Level 5 mentoring.
He actually
Okay.
lives about 15 minutes away in the same area. So they use this
In Hawaii.
Yeah. But Victoria and Gray do different themselves. They do plant medicine ceremonies there a few times a year, and other groups come in and use the property. They have this big music festival over the holidays.
Mm.
But anyone can go there, and because there are these beautiful little huts and dwellings all over the property,
Mhm.
and you can stay there as an Airbnb for $60 a night.
Wow.
That's a
and
very good deal.
it's
Very good,
so
yeah. Hawaii.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mhm.
God, it's
Very good deal.
really, it's a different kind of living than on the Kona coast, with all the resorts and stuff. Totally, you're
You're in the
off
jungle.
You're
It's a
off the
jungle.
grid in the jungle, and it's so it's amazing. It really is. And so just being there lifts your spirits.
I love
That's
it.
amazing.
I love
Did
it.
you get hit by the mosquitoes at all or no?
Some people did. Oh my
Okay.
God! A couple of women did. All their legs had these huge red welts.
Oh.
I didn't get bit once.
Because yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know why. And if I had the secret and I could share it so they wouldn't, I would have. But I don't know. Same thing happened to me when I went to Peru in 2016 in the Amazon. People said, "Oh, bring this heavy bug spray." I did. I never had to use it.
Wow.
So, Chet, you remember when we were in Hawaii and I got attacked by mosquitoes?
Yeah, it's such a confusing thing because like I went to Hawaii a few months ago and we went on a hike and one person got stung.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't get hit though, so I was fine.
No, I didn't the whole time.
Yeah, I'm
It
sensitive
is,
to
it
mosquitoes.
is a
I am
little,
too.
Yeah.
coming
I get
from
bit up all the
a
time.
dry
I'm the only one who'll
climate,
get
desert
bit.
climate.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a little, you're in there and the humidity is pretty high. Your clothes are always damp.
Well,
Right?
did
Oh,
you notice
so
how
humid.
much better it felt to breathe there? Because
Well,
how much
now-
there's so much
yes.
more oxygen in the air from all the plants.
Think
The
about,
oxygen
not,
rates are probably
not only that, but
3 or 4%
Hawaii is
higher.
situated 2,500 miles away from the nearest land.
Yeah.
So you don't, there's no dust coming in from other land masses. I mean, it's like some of the cleanest air in the
100%.
world.
Especially because there's only
Incredible.
about 1 million people that live there, give
Oh,
or
yeah,
take,
yeah.
and very little big polluting industries. Because like I don't know,
Yeah,
it wouldn't make
yeah.
sense to manufacture that much stuff there. Like it's 2,500 miles to distribute it. So short of like some stuff they make for stuff there on the island, like the guava juice and like different products like that they
Yeah.
manufacture there. But beyond that, there's not like a bunch of big polluting industries.
No,
So
it's a
small
beautiful-
population,
Yeah.
lots of jungle, and then very remote, like you were saying. So
And
it's
and just
some of the best air in the world.
the
Let's
breathing
sit there
there
and
is
do tasting real quickly.
such a-
So, question: what are we
Yes.
drinking? Because I'd like
well,
to-
let's see. What are we doing?
Can you tell us what we're doing? 'Cause it's very delicious.
What does this say?
Cheers.
Oh,
Very good.
it's Jean-Jacques Aucher and Sancerre.
Jean-Jacques
Sancerre.
Assange.
From the Loire Valley in France. And Sancerre is, in Europe, wines are named geographically from the little region. So Sancerre is an actual little geographical region in the Loire Valley.
And isn't it like a Sauvignon Blanc?
It is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. That is correct.
Okay, good. Ding, ding, ding. I'm
This is
starting to learn a
another-
little bit.
This is another example. Now, if you compare this to a Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand, for instance, which many people are familiar with, you see how it's totally different, right?
I definitely see how it's different.
Totally
I
different.
think it's less. I feel like the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc is more citrusy.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Well, not only that,
Acidic,
that
maybe?
Yes.
it's citrus, especially grapefruit, and also what is that? Gooseberry.
Okay, so
Gooseberry, yeah, typical. This is very different. This is much more mineral, has more minerality. It's
I can taste
because
that,
of
yes.
it's because of the terroir, the soil that it's grown in. Everything is totally different. This is the perfect example of you take the same grape and grow it in different areas, and it presents differently.
because of the terroir.
The terroir, which is everything, the weather, the soil, all of that.
The landscaping.
Yeah. So,
The rainfall.
for instance, here's the
Yeah,
winemaker's
there you go.
note on this wine. The nose opens with pure minerality
Oh, definitely.
and exotic fruit. Flavors of grapefruit, lychee, and lime combined with a clean and crisp palate. That's a classic Sancerre, that clean, crisp palate with the mineral. This is,
It's wild how much grapefruit I'm catching on the nose.
Yep.
A lot of grapefruit on the nose.
Now it'll be interesting to compare this to our next bottle of wine, which is going to be Dariouche Chardonnay.
okay, no hurry.
No, no, worries. No, we have a lot of time.
When you put that in your mouth and really swish it around, it activates your salivary glands. You notice
Yes,
that?
I can tell it. Yes.
I mean,
Definitely
your
does.
mouth is just juicing up with saliva, which is
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
because you need saliva for digestion. It is the first step in digestion when food is in your mouth. So the whole idea behind wine and food pairing is a wine like this that has that level of minerality and acidity that activates the salivary glands while you're chewing your food with this wine. You see how that symbiotic relationship begins to develop between the food and the wine?
What are some foods you would recommend for this?
Good question.
Anything you feel like.
Well, no, there certain things would be better.
Well, I may not.
Like fish.
I may, yeah, anything like that. But, there are really no rules in food and wine pairing. Some I've had food and wine pairings that you would think would be ridiculous, and they were great. So experiment.
I agree on no rules, but there can still be one that like comes to your mind for being like.
I would love this.
I would be really good with a swordfish with like a any type of a kind of like a fruit accoutrement, like a mango salsa or something like that.
Fine.
I would eat this with a ham and cheese quiche.
Why not?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That'd be
yeah.
really good.
Wouldn't that be really good?
Nice
It would be
quiche,
really good with
a quiche
ham and cheese
Lorraine.
Yes.
I would eat it with any shellfish, any shellfish. She sells shellfish.
And I would
eat it
also pair this. I think this would be really great with like a Dover sole.
Oh yeah, that would be.
Wouldn't that be really good?
Well, Dover sole, yes, it could be, but Dover
Nice and
sole
light.
is very delicate. There may be some other wines that are not quite as
Oh, I think it would be great.
okay.
And if there's no
Do it.
rules, why would it be wrong?
There's not wrong. Did I say wrong?
Oh.
I never said wrong. There is no right or wrong with this, and some people may say, oh, this is too much for me. It's too acidic. I like wines that are creamy and buttery.
Well, Diane spent a lot of time when you were going in med school in Stanford,
Yeah.
and you were over at Napa and Sonoma, and the wines from California are much different than the ones from,
Yeah, they are completely. It's very, very different.
Right.
Even if it's the same grape, the same varietal, it will be completely different. Also, depending on what part the grapes are grown, because that's what makes Napa special. Is there's all these different little, micro areas that are completely different in the soil.
Yeah.
How cool the landscape is.
Listen, in a single vineyard, say the vineyard is, I don't know, 10 acres, 20 acres, 30 acres, even with that single vineyard of all of the same kind of grape, you're going to find little microclimates where things are just a little bit different. And so, for instance, when harvest time comes and you pick a vineyard, you're not going to pick the entire vineyard at once, because they're going to ripen a little bit different in different parts of the area and different areas of the vineyard. So you start one area, and it's interesting. And you have to be very observant. The people who do the viticulture, who tend the vineyards, of how this all comes together. And of course, ideally, you want to get the grapes in at just the right ripeness. And it's
Well, how would you compare the Sauvignon Blanc from California or Arizona to France? Like, how are they different? How do they differ?
well, most of the Sauvignon Blancs I've had from California are riper style.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have this.
Or New Zealand.
New Zealand is, as I said, it's just a totally different flavor profile, which is fine. It's just different. But I love Sancerre, and maybe now in the Loire Valley you also have Puy-Fumé, which is another little region near Sancerre that tastes totally different from this.
Is that where like?
It's also
Fumé
Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, it's not.
Fumé Blanc
Fumé Blanc.
is a term that was invented by Robert Mondavi in California.
Okay.
So perhaps he was using grapes that had been brought over from Puy-Fumé in Loire Valley. But
Is that like Pouilly-Foussay?
Pouilly-Foussay is a Chardonnay from the south of Burgundy.
Because that was what your granddad.
Yeah. So even within Loire Valley, you have a couple different types of Sauvignon Blanc from different areas that are.
He loved saying it too. He used to say, "Do you want some Pouilly-Foussay?"
Yeah.
We'll have to do that. Don't you think? Try different types of Sauvignon Blanc from different areas.
Let's do that.
That would be
Actually,
fun.
I think yes.
We will.
That'll be a future show. That'd be a really good one. Well, I think that I'm somebody that really likes different Sauvignon Blancs, and I love the one from love the different ones from New Zealand, and then from California. But one of my favorites is the Sancerre. I don't know why.
This one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yes.
I know
Yes.
it's great.
Yes.
That's
So So I
Really
learned
good
something
with
new on the show today. So Pouilly Fusé is a Chardonnay, and Pouilly
Fumé
Fumé
is a
is a
Sauv
Sauvignon
Blanc.
Blanc.
The
Okay,
one's from
there we
Pouilly.
go. It's important to take something from the show that we've
Yes,
learned.
But they're
yes.
both Pouilly.
Pouilly, Pouilly Fusé, Pouilly
Pouilly.
Fumé. So what would you guys each rate this?
That's not our review. That's just what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't think it's pooey.
That's not Pouilly.
No, we love it. But we're not drinking that. You just brought that up as an example.
Yeah,
We don't have that today.
I was having a little fun.
Yes. So
Where's
you need the
we'll
last sip
sniff
so
the
you can
pooey
give
before
your
we drink it.
review, because we're all going to give a review now. Give your review. Here's my review.
I still have some.
We kind of already had that sort of with the grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I mean, what would you say on a scale from 1 to 10?
1
1 to 100. Everybody does 1 to 100 with wine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
1
1
to
to 10's not detailed enough.
Chet's right. Chet's right. Okay.
Oh, I think it's really good. I would say maybe 93.
Okay. 93 points.
I would rate this in the low 90 to 93. Yeah, it's quite
Okay.
good.
Richard gives it a
You know,
93.
it's well balanced.
91.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to take a sip and I'll tell you.
I mean, it doesn't leave a lot to be desired.
I would give it 90. I would give it 90. Yes, I love it. So every day is a gift, and Chet is healing from a you hurt your
Any
knee.
injury. Yeah, I'll be okay though.
But sadly-
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but sadly Chet lost a friend to a complication from a surgery, and so
Any surgery.
and that's what really reminds you. Yes.
Yes.
That every day is a gift, because that's not a very common thing for somebody to pass away
Mm-mm.
after a surgery.
No, not at all.
Right, Dr. Diane?
No, not at all. It's very uncommon.
Like a 1 in a
Very
million
rare. Yes,
chance.
very, very rare. Especially from like a sort of more minor surgery. You're not getting a whole knee replacement or something. If it's just like a repair, very rare. So.
And she and I were talking about how you once had a patient that wasn't walking around enough, and then
It was a similar type of surgery. It was just like a knee repair, not a replacement. And it was, so he was recovering overnight in part of the hospital that wasn't like a high level. It was just sort of like an overnight stay. He was getting up, he got up from bed to get dressed to go home. And he threw a blood clot and had a pulmonary embolism.
Yeah.
And so he immediately landed on the floor and couldn't breathe, turned blue from here. So it was very hard.
so something that we talked about is they have these like squeezers, these leg squeezers
Yeah.
that you're supposed to like
Yes, so sometimes after surgery, anybody who's had surgery would probably be familiar with it, but they have these boots that are pneumatic and they squeeze your legs so that you don't develop clots. And also that was,
so every day's a gift. Let's enjoy. So cheers to celebrating this beautiful Saturday.
Yeah.
Cheers.
cheers.
Boom, boom. I hope you didn't.
Cheers.
Yes, it did.
I did what? Anyhow, so let's go to our second kind of wine, which
What's the
is.
hurry?
I guess there's no hurry.
We haven't even finished the first one.
Okay, well, do you have more to say about this one?
What's more to say? It's lovely. Sancerre. I love Sancerre. It's my favorite, one of my favorite, maybe my favorite Sauv Blanc. I know you're very fond of it.
Oh, I
Sancerre.
ordered it a lot.
Now,
yes.
Sancerre typically cost a little more, $30. I mean, is not unusual to pay for a Sancerre. They have one at Trader Joe's, which is, I think,
I've never seen a Sancerre at Trader Joe's.
it's
Do they
pretty
have
good.
it?
Yeah, it's pretty good, and it's in the 20s. But you can pay $40, $50 for really top Sancerre too. So it's not inexpensive, but it's good.
And would you say that there's less toxins? Is it more?
Toxins?
Yeah, in the soil. In France, aren't they better about they don't use
France,
pesticides?
yeah, many, if not most, of the vineyards in France, except for the really big producing, huge, or at least sustainably, if not organic, or as they call it in Europe, bio, for biodynamic. So you see more of that there than we do, like in California, for instance.
So it's a little bit
And the rules are
more
stricter.
organic, are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so
More
it is a little more-
sustainable. Now, there's not to say that there isn't
Hmm.
it hasn't in recent years been a big movement in the U.S. Wine industry to be more sustainable, if not organic or biodynamic. And there are more and more wineries who have converted to organic or biodynamic, or wineries like Sam's Winery, Sam Pillsbury, for instance, that is organic but not certified. Because to get certified costs tens of thousands of dollars in 5 years.
Oh, wow.
You have to let the land lie fallow for 5 years. And so it's very expensive. So, but Sam's Wine he farms organically, doesn't use pesticides, no chemicals.
And we all know
You
that
know?
Sam Pillsbury wine, which we'll have to do a show with you, he's one of my favorite vintners here in Arizona, and I think he does a great job. So try that. But we do need to get to the next one because we only have about 15 more minutes.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! Well, let's go then. Here we go.
So we got to get to our next one. Chop chop. All right.
Now, I would recommend, I'm going to pour a little bit of this in your glass, and you're going to swish it around and pour it in your dump cup, okay?
Oh, why is that?
Because of the wine in there was so strong, you
And
don't want it to,
This has a lot of minerality. It'll change it. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. This is Dariush and Diane. We were there at Dariush, and I loved it.
It's a beautiful winery.
It's so
And
beautiful.
actually, the owner lives on the property near the tasting room, and it's so beautiful. But he's always in and out. Remember, we saw him
Yes.
going in and out.
Oh, yes. He was.
Darius, the owner. Yeah.
Usually, I would say, "Hey, come on over and say hi."
And he would have. He's so friendly.
I don't
the
know why
last
we
time I
didn't.
was
The
there,
next
he
time we
came
will.
over and he talked to us. Yeah.
So
Talked to us about
next
his
time
wine.
we'll have to, because he was going up and talking to everybody, and
Yeah.
yes. Here we go. I'm gonna swirl it around. So what's the proper way, Richard? We swirl.
Well, first we sight.
Okay,
You look at the
sight.
color of a wine,
Okay.
and that can tell you a lot. If it's a very light color, if it's a darker, like more golden color, it might have a little bit more flavor. It's just nice to look at the color of a wine and see. And one
And
of
the
the ways
color.
you do that, we don't have any
Yep.
piece of paper here, but you hold it up against a white paper and tilt it, you can see the color easier.
Oh, I can see the color.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
really
So
pretty
that's the
color.
first thing you do.
Very
and
golden.
then,
Pretty golden, pale yellow.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And then sniff, of course. Now here's the proper way to sniff.
Okay,
First
show
of
us.
all, before you even swirl, you sniff it. Then you sit it down.
Okay.
Then
Good.
you
We're doing the proper way.
swirl and sniff it again.
Okay, we swirl. How much do we want to swirl?
That's enough.
Okay.
Then sniff it again, and you'll notice a difference once before and after swirling. You get more aroma.
Oh, I totally noticed the
Yeah.
difference. We did it again. Wow.
Because you're oxygenating, you're just releasing those molecules
Okay,
of
good.
aroma.
Mmm.
And then, of course, you sip.
Sip. So the first, oh wow, that first sip is so good after it's. What do you call this when you? What are you doing to the wine? What's that word?
Aerating.
Aerating.
Yeah.
Aerating. Okay.
When you sip, put that first sip in your mouth. First, it's at the front of your tongue, and then you want to swish. You want to swish it around your mouth. Cover your entire palate with it, right? And
Is
then,
it almost like you're?
because then you're really getting.
Because I always just do it down here. You're saying do it in your
No,
whole
your
entire.
whole tongue should be covered. Your whole
Really?
palate, yeah, really
You do
swish
it
it
like that?
around.
I don't all the time, but that's the way you're
But if
supposed
you really
to.
want to get the flavor,
Because-
and then as
Yeah,
you
sure.
swallow, and then the last step is swallow. It's all S's. And then and when you're doing that, it's going to go back, and then you're going to get what they call the mid palate. Is what after you've switched it around, you're going to taste something, and then on the way down, it's the after palate. So that's the kind of the procedure. But I wouldn't get too caught up in it, because the idea is, unless you're evaluating the wine professionally, is
Right.
to enjoy the wine.
Yeah.
No, but I think
Yeah, but, yeah.
it does make you enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
it
you
does.
stare at the color and analyze it, and then you do your air
You know,
rating.
you
your
can spend
experiment.
hours just going
And
before you even
then
taste it.
the sniffing.
Yeah.
So see-
that's the procedure.
And what about the legs on the wine? What would you say?
Well, the legs
do you
on the
think?
wine do not indicate any quality necessarily. They're just an indication of the glycerin content, and that's
Because
what
I can
makes
see them
those
in your
legs.
glass.
And usually higher alcohol wines like this is 14.7, which is, my opinion, way too high for a Chardonnay.
Mhm.
Just no, for Chardonnays that I prefer.
Oh, I love this.
I
Well,
like
it's
it too.
delicious.
I
It's
like it.
delicious.
For me, I would rate this 99.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I
or
agree.
100.
This
I agree.
It can be any
Oh
better.
yeah, no, I understand it. It gets high ratings, but for me, I prefer the style of the Burgundian Chardonnays a little bit more to this. This is luscious and big,
Mhm.
and you know, I mean,
Well, this is the style I like.
I like it too.
Yes.
Should I read the notes
And-
on it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, could you read
So
it?
this is a 2022 signature Darius Chardonnay, and on the palate it says lively golden delicious apple, bosque pear, and zesty lemon oil. It's framed by a delicate riverstone minerality, I guess, and I don't get a lot of that, but
Riverstone minerality. I
Yeah.
love that. Okay.
and the mouthfeel is kind of velvety. It says the refreshing finish is accented by floral notes of jasmine blossom and softer hints of clove and nutmeg. So those are
Okay, wait. Can you repeat that last sentence?
Oh, okay. The refreshing finish is accented by floral notes of jasmine blossom
Jasmine.
and softer hints of clove and nutmeg.
Okay, I do taste the clove and nutmeg, but jasmine. Do you really taste jasmine?
Jasmine blossom. I don't think I do.
it's all right.
But I've never tasted a jasmine blossom.
Neither. That's probably why
So
we don't. Maybe
maybe
we
we
do.
need yes. Maybe we need to make a salad with jasmine blossom. Well, cheers, because I love this, and I would
I
give
like
this maybe 100.
I love it too.
Well, I understand why people
love
like it.
Mm.
You know, it's not a style of Chardonnay that I prefer personally. I mean, it's delicious.
And then also it says it's aged in 50% new oak
Yeah.
versus and 50% neutral. So
Yeah, so it's got significant oak influence at 50%.
Yeah.
For how long does it say?
10 years, I think.
No, it's not 10 years.
Oh, 11 months. Sorry,
11 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
How did you know right off the bat it wouldn't have been 10 years?
Because it's a 22.
It's a Chardonnay.
Oh.
I meant months. I was going to say 10 months, but
But hold
11
on,
months.
it could still be. Couldn't it be a 22? But then it was.
No, 22 is the vintage that it was harvested.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now, interestingly enough, there are white wines that exist in the world that have been in barrel for 10 years. That's
Really?
very rare. Yeah, you'll find it in some crazy places in like Eastern Europe and some really interesting
Wow.
wines.
And are they great?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
they're different.
Okay.
Very different. These are way geekier than this kind of stuff. Geek,
Okay,
what I call
okay.
geek wines for real wine geeks. Yeah.
Well, that's neat. That'd be fun to try one of those.
Well, I have a question. Like, let's say you buy a wine that's meant to be aged, and you take it home and you age it, and you're so excited, and you spend a lot of money on it, and then you open it up and you don't like it.
No.
Let's say it's, you bought it for $500, and then you age it and you don't like it.
we also have to make sure that it wasn't air didn't get in, around the cork or something, and have it be corked. Which
Yeah,
ruins
there's
the
a
wine.
reason. If the wine is,
It has to be stored
if the
properly.
wine is
Stored
flawed,
properly. Yeah.
it's not stored properly, then that's
Because like even when you're shipping your wine from even California,
Yeah.
they won't
They won't
send
ship
to
it
you.
when it's hot. No, they'll save it,
it's
even
too
though they
hot.
already charged you for it. They'll save it till the weather's
Yeah.
right, and then they'll ship it because it'll ruin it.
Or they can ship it with ice packs. If you're going to ship out by air, like overnight or 2-day air, you can get away with ice packs in it.
Yeah,
But
They still don't wanna take a
that's very
chance.
expensive.
they usually put ice packs in it all the time, but
Yeah.
they still won't ship it until it's
Yeah.
probably below 103,
Yeah.
which it is today. Today it's 103.
So I know we really both enjoyed the Sincere. We really both enjoyed the,
Yeah.
or we all
For
enjoyed.
different reasons.
But like, if you were gonna choose between these two, what would be?
Well, I wouldn't I wouldn't have any reason to choose between
You don't
the
want
two.
to pick your favorite child?
No, these are both lovely wines.
Okay.
You know, but this is 13.1%. This is 14.7.
What's wrong with that? I like that. It's more alcohol.
Well,
Why not? What's wrong with that?
I think it's overdone.
Do you like that?
For my taste, it's overpowering.
I like it.
I do
See,
too.
when you're
I do too.
tasting the little zing on your tongue here, it's the mineral in here. When you're tasting the zing in your tongue here, it's the alcohol.
I don't think so.
Oh, I know so.
Really?
Yeah.
It could be the lemon oil.
There's no lemon oil in there. Here's the other
Or the
thing.
Riverstone minerality.
The Riverstone minerality.
Riverstone.
Minerality.
You ever lick a Riverstone?
No, I
Just like that.
But now we're gonna clean one and try it and see what it tastes like. But what about?
No,
I thought
listen,
there was. I taste some nutmeg and clove.
It has a nice.
This
little
is
bit
a
of sweet
gorgeous
finish.
wine. Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
And it's not flawed. There's nothing wrong with it. My personal
personal
taste
taste,
is
yeah.
I don't drink any wines over 14% anymore.
Oh
I
really?
just don't. There's no reason.
Even like
for it.
reds?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like big alcoholic wines.
So if you're at someone's house and they're serving the wine, you're gonna say, "Oh, that has too
no,
much alcohol."
I'm going to take a sip of it, and then I'm going to go
Really?
spit it out all over them.
You will not.
No.
No, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take a sip, very down, and then I'm going to go.
What about port?
Port's different. Port is a fortified wine,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Very
has,
high alcohol.
but it also has
Is it?
residual sugar.
Yes.
It's
Wait, what's the
18 to
alcohol?
20%.
Okay.
Port is 18 to
That's
20%.
Okay.
But it also has residual sugar,
Uh-huh.
and because of the high alcohol, it lasts for years. I happen to like port, and there are different types of port. There's the ruby port, the aged port.
So you're saying you can store it for years?
Oh yeah,
And
tawny
tawny port.
ports. Tawny
Mhm.
ports you can actually buy pre-aged 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
That'll be a great show.
They're
We have
really
to.
yummy.
Okay, we'll
I
we'll
like
do a
them.
port show.
Yeah.
That'll be.
I
one.
like both.
Yeah,
Ruby
you
and
better,
I'd like-
you better,
to
be,
learn.
you better
Okay.
be prepared to spend some big bucks, baby.
Really?
Yeah, if you want to taste good ports, it's
Really?
gonna cost you
What would you say?
hundreds.
So you're saying you can't get a bottle? No, they
But
sell
you
it at
could-
Costco.
You could cork it.
You can
and
get a bottle of cheap
store it.
port, but that's not. That's
No,
not the
I've seen some
experience
good
we're
ports at Costco
How do you know they're good?
because I know they're good because I bought one
And you
bottle
liked
one
it.
time and I loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I loved it,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I think it was maybe it was $40.
yeah. Okay, a
So
Tony.
if it,
Yeah, you
yeah,
can buy a 10-year
Yes.
Tony for $40.
actually I think it was 20 years.
20-year Tony?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yes, yes.
Shocked.
And it was at Costco.
Costco's good for that. No, Costco, their
Cheers.
program there is good.
We're having fun.
Was it-
Every day is a gift,
Every
and
day is
every
a gift.
minute is a
Every
miracle.
breath is a miracle.
Yes.
Yes.
Literally.
Yes.
Think about what you're breathing in. Atoms from distant stars.
Yes.
Everything is, it's incredible.
Well, look at your shirt. Where'd you get that? Sprinkled Joy.
This is Mark Tarbell's shirt for his wine label.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
If you
Oh, there's a. You can scan the back.
you
That's
can
the-
scan
you can
that,
scan
you'll
the
find
tag,
you'll
okay.
find out all about his wine.
Well, it's a great shirt,
I told you
especially with
should-
what we're talking about,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
sprinkling joy means you're spreading happiness.
Yeah, sprinkling joy. I just like the image. You're walking around and you've got a little bag of joy, and you take it and you sprinkle it around.
Well,
Sprinkle it
your
around.
energy
That's
just
yeah, of course.
exudes
You're
joy.
sprinkling
Yes.
joy with
Or
your
it doesn't.
energy, yeah.
You're either, and I think my personality always sprinkles joy,
Yeah.
and I think yours does too.
Oh,
And
thank
so does yours. Sometimes. No, just kidding. It always does. So, anyway.
Well, this is why breathing into presence is so important. And the more you do it, I have to remind yourself, and you just sit down.
Yeah, because I don't usually take the time to do deep breathing.
It's not, it's deep breathing, but this is
Do you do that?
this is the natural way to breathe.
I do that when I'm running.
Yeah.
I breathe
Mhm.
very deep when I'm running,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
makes me feel so good.
And when I'm
I love it.
hiking,
Mm.
Yeah.
the important, in through the nose, feel it in your mouth, and out through the mouth. And interestingly enough, even when I'm doing Pilates, you're breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So it's a method of breathing that is very natural.
Okay, so what if you do in through the mouth, out through the nose?
That might not be
that
good.
means you're a Heyoka. Do things backwards.
That probably would be good.
Cheers. I'm getting hungry after all this wine tasting.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Where are we going? We gotta go get some good food. What would you pair with this one? Now let's talk about pairings. Because I know
Here's interesting that this wine, because of its ripeness and fullness and unctuousness, this is a wine you can sit down and drink by itself.
Yes, I agree.
think so too.
This is
Yes.
this is what I call a cocktail wine.
Okay,
You don't need any food with it.
I like that.
And this was developed in California starting in the 80s.
Interesting. I didn't know that. But that's,
Yeah,
I totally agree.
You
I
know?
do exactly.
Mhm.
Yes.
And pairing this with food is going to be a little more difficult because it is so big.
On its own.
And so
unctuous.
delicious.
Yeah.
On its own. Yeah.
So
Unctuous, you know that means
not that
drinkable.
I'm not saying you can't pair it with
Yeah.
food.
Wait, tell us the definition of unctuous.
Look it up.
Unctuous. It doesn't
Unctuous.
mean drinkable.
No, it just means
We've used this word many times on the show, but I
Yeah.
can't remember now.
get the real definition.
Definition
Yeah.
of unctuous.
Anxious means
Oh,
No.
experience.
Unctuous. UNC.
Definition of unctuous. UNC.
Here's what I found.
She doesn't want to do it. Definition of unctuous.
Anxious means
No. She wants to. She just wants to do it.
You know,
Can somebody
it
find it?
all has to do with also
30s
with
fibers.
texture. You know,
Unctuous. Anxious.
texture. Come on, you snoot. Okay.
Anxious.
Unctuous.
Anxious. Anxious.
Here's the
I got
definition of
anxious from
anxious.
this too. Okay, I'm gonna spell it out.
It's
Goddamn.
unctuous.
Here we go.
Definition of
it's coming.
unctuous.
Merriam-Webster dictionary.
Okay, what does it say?
Unctuous definition.
Having, revealing, or marked by a smug, ingratiating, and false earnestness. That's weird.
Well, that's
That's not unctuous.
well, it is that this is a different, but also
Maybe your word is.
That's
so
what I
it's
pulled up.
smooth. It's something that's smooth. When you're talking, it could be smooth and greasy even sometimes. But when you're talking about what food is unctuous, okay, the starchy, soft quality of a good risotto, or the melting richness of a bone marrow, that's unctuous. That's an
Okay.
example of unctuous when we're
Smooth
talking
and
about
greasy.
food. Yeah,
Okay, here in wine
and
tasting.
her,
I've got it. I've got it. In
Yeah,
wine
yeah.
tasting, unctuous is an adjective that describes a wine with a rich, smooth,
yeah,
and thick texture.
yes,
and it's often
texture.
used to describe dessert wines. It
Yep,
also means
exactly.
something is lush and vicious,
That's
but
right.
typically a dessert wine.
Viscous, not vicious. Viscous.
Yeah, viscous.
Yeah.
it's
It's a vicious wine. But watch out, man. It'll
It's
kill
vicious.
you. It'll smack
It's
you right on the
vicious.
head.
Vicious. It's a positive term, but it's usually with wine. Anyway. But if it's not with wine, then it's something oily or greasy
Yeah.
in terms of texture.
A person can say something that you know, people being phony.
But with the wine, it's a rich texture,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
with
that's what I
lush
said. Rich
and
texture.
viscosity.
Yeah, lush, viscous.
Okay, perfect.
Like
So we
risotto.
only have a few more minutes left, and I want to
Like
rate this
risotto.
wine, like we said, I would give it 99 or 100 points. I think it's amazing. I could drink this, I could buy cases of this. I love it. Cheers.
I love it too. Thank you. I
We
agree.
have the same taste in wine.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you
I would
love
never
it,
buy this wine.
but would you buy the Sincere?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I drink wine with food mostly. I drink wine in the evening when I'm home and I'm preparing some dinner or I'm out.
Uh-oh, you're too far away. That won't work.
Oh, hello, I'm back. I drink wine mostly with food. In the evening with my dinner. If I'm out at a restaurant, I have wine with a meal.
So do we, but
yeah.
we're doing a show right now.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how we
But
do it. too.
I typically don't drink wine on its own.
See, well, now for me, between these two wines, to me, this one
Of course.
would be better with food because I like it more.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them both. I would drink them both.
I
buy them
wouldn't
both.
sit down and
both.
have a glass of this by itself.
I think you're.
I would
agree.
sit down and have a glass of this by
I
itself.
think he's totally right. Yes.
Mm.
I wouldn't either. I wouldn't have that one by itself
Yeah, that needs food.
Really?
This doesn't need food
because of
to
the
enjoy it.
minerality and acidity.
Okay.
In fact, some
So it
food
needs
is
to
going to
pair.
overpower. So if you're going to pair this with food, have something that either the food is highly acidic
Okay.
or as unctuous as the wine.
I love
Like
the word
maybe you
anxious.
have this with a
Anxious,
risotto.
Anxious, anxious. Well, I feel like the wine pairings for me if I was gonna drink a white wine with a steak,
Mhm.
I would definitely enjoy this
I think
with a
that
steak.
could hold up with the steak. Yeah.
You could,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
I can totally see this.
So, you have a
like-
good steak?
Like if I was with a friend that prefers white wine and they said, "Oh, with this steak, I want white," this is what I would pair it with.
Yeah, I think like a filet with the béarnaise sauce would be amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Béarnaise sauce. There you go. Bingo.
And some garlic mashed potatoes.
Bingo.
And some.
Delicious.
Get down, get anxious. Not anxious. Don't get anxious. Get anxious.
And quaffable.
Quaffable?
That's another word that means drinkable. Remember earlier I thought
Oh, yes.
I was confusing the two words,
Yes.
and that is quaffable. And that who used that word on our show? Some famous wine guy. I can't remember.
Me.
I think it was you. But
But
Yes,
it's
so-
highly quaffable.
it's so quaffable.
Don't quibble about quaffable.
So how do you take every day and make every moment a miracle, Diane?
I think you just have to see the beauty in life and the beauty in your friendships, and
Yes.
you just have to look around, take time to think about the good things.
And focus on positive.
Focus on
Yes.
positive. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. And especially you coming, Emmy, after a loss,
Mhm.
you are so positive. And you do, I feel like Diane, more than anybody I know, enjoys every day. I mean, after work, you're enjoying, after she does a full day of surgery, she's out there enjoying.
Yeah.
And you love music and concerts and wine and food.
Running, jogging,
Yes.
all of it. Yes.
Exercising, friendships,
Travel.
your family,
Friendships.
travel, concerts,
Yes.
music. She lives to rock out in her
She
you love
rocks
cars.
out.
Cars. I love cars.
The
Yes.
bitch be rocking, man. I mean it.
And we are enjoying every minute of this show today. So,
Well, yeah.
but I think we're kind of
It's me.
coming in.
It's-
So,
it's
how about you? How do you enjoy your every day, every minute?
being aware, and being aware is being present. Breathe and be curious.
I like that too. Yes. Here's
Well,
to that.
Okay.
Breathing and being curious.
And for me, I love every day, every minute, and I love people, and I love the people in my life that I, get to see often. I love the hiking and the friendships like you, Diane, and like you, Richard, and my family. But I would say, I don't know. I think every day just trying to find the beauty in everything, like what you said.
Mhm.
I'm going to copy you.
Yeah.
Because there's beauty in everything.
There
Beauty
is.
in
You
wine
enjoy
and
people
food.
too.
I love people.
You spend your day seeking out people
I
She
love
does.
people. I
to
love
meet
people.
and enjoy.
Yeah,
She
I
does,
do.
yeah.
which
I
is,
love people.
which is
Yes.
pretty cool. Really.
So we started
It
off
is.
the show saying
It
that how
is.
important that is, and that is how I spend my day. So
Yes.
anyway, saving the planet,
Okay.
One
Saving
wine
the
at a
One
time.
show, wine, breath at a time.
and person at a time.
And person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you, Gabe.
Careful with my glasses.
Thank you.
Did you put out the fire?
Yeah, it's all
What got
good.
on fire?
There was like chemicals like leaking from the actual.
Should we end the show?
Yeah, sure. There was like chemicals from the car cleaning chemicals leaking onto a motor, and the
Oh.
motor belt gets hot enough to
Oh.
ignite the chemicals.
Yeah,
Wow.
So it just burst into flames.
yeah. That's a
Thank God for
chemical
those
fire.
firefighters. Did you get their names and numbers?
No, I
Why,
think
you gonna
I
need
think
one?
my
Yeah,
mom
when I have them on the
managed
show.
I think my mom managed to put it out enough before they got there.
Did
before-
she?
With what?
Yeah.
Not
Wow.
with water, though, huh?
I'm not sure what she did. I think she just.
Gabe, are you able to turn this one off?
Yeah, she just.
Bye. Saving the planet one show.